Hello students, in this video we'll discuss about Coulomb's law. So what is this Coulomb's law? Right, it tells about the force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges. Okay, whenever we're talking about force of attraction or repulsion, right, so we need to tell which types of charges we are going to discuss. Either it is the like charges or unlike charges. For example, if I consider two charges like this, two charges which are separated by certain distance, right? Now the distance between the two charges I am taking it as r, right? So according to Coulomb's law, the force of attraction or repulsion, right, as you all know, attraction will be the force whenever the two charges are of opposite polarity and whenever the charges are having the same polarity. That means either both of them are positive charges or both of them are negative charges. In that case, they have a repulsion, right? Either it is a force of attraction or repulsion. Either it is a force of attraction or repulsion. It depends upon few factors. So the first factor, the force of attraction or repulsion, it is directly proportional to the product of the charges. For example, here if I take these charges as Q1 and Q2, right, the force of attraction or repulsion is proportional to the product of the charges, that is Q1 into Q2. Right, let us take this as the first expression. And the second factor which is going to influence is the distance between them. Right, the force of attraction or repulsion, it is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the two charges. So that we can write like this. So this is the second expression. Right, these are the two parameters which are going to influence the force of attraction or repulsion between the two charges. Right, combining 1 and 2, we can write like this. F is proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. F is proportional to Q1 Q2 by R square. Alright, if I take out this proportionality, I'm going to get one constant which I'll write it as K. So K into Q1 Q2 by R square you can write. Right, so what is this K? So where K is a proportionality constant. Proportionality constant. Right. So what is this proportionality constant? We'll just see and we'll just look at its value also. So K value is 9 into 10 to the power 9. So actually its value, its expression is given by 4 pi epsilon naught. Right, what is this epsilon naught? Epsilon naught is nothing but the permittivity of the medium. Right, what is that permittivity of the medium? We'll just discuss in the other video. Alright, so if I rewrite once again, this can be written as F is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R square. Right, so this is the formula for the Coulomb's law. Right, and if you look at the units for epsilon naught, so what is this epsilon naught? We'll write it as permittivity. Permittivity of free space, or we'll call it as absolute permittivity also. Absolute permittivity of free space. Coming to the units, right, here from this expression, if I take epsilon naught as the subject, I can write like this: 1 by 4 pi F Q1 Q2 by R square. Now coming to the units, alright, so units for epsilon naught. So 1 by 4, that is, you can write it as 1 by Newton. So 4 pi is a constant. 4 pi is a constant, and you know that constants will not have any units. Right, into Q, it is measured in Coulomb, and Q2 also, it is measured in Coulomb only. Q1 as well as Q2, they are both are measured in Coulomb. So Coulomb into Coulomb by, this is the distance between these two charges. So distance is measured in meter. So since it is distance square, you can write it as meter square. Right. Rewriting once again, it is Coulomb square per Newton meter square. So these are the units. Right. So this is the information regarding the Coulomb's law. But the question arises here is it telling about the direction of the force? No, it's not telling about the direction. Right. We'll call this expression as the scalar form. We'll call this expression as the scalar form of Coulomb's law. So what is a scalar form? Scalar form is the form which tells about only the magnitude. So here we are not having any information regarding the direction of this force. Right. For finding the direction, so what we'll do is we'll just go with the other form of the Coulomb's law, that is vector form. Right. Now we'll go with the vector form of Coulomb's law. Right. For finding the vector form, or for expressing the Coulomb's law in vector form, so we need to consider few things. So what are those? So first what I will do is I will just rewrite the charges Q1 and Q2, which are separated by certain distance, which we are taking it as R, right here. Here if you see, Q2, it exerts some force on Q1, and Q1 also exerts some force on Q2. Right, if you look at these forces. So first if you consider the force which is exerted by Q1 on Q2. Force exerted on Q2 by Q1. So its direction will be like this. Right, in the same way, Q2 also exerts some force on Q1. So that we'll write it as force on Q1 due to Q2. So we'll write it like this. Right. And if you look at the directions of these forces, I will just rewrite this once again. F12 is nothing but force on Q1 due to Q2, and F21 is nothing but force on Q2 due to Q1. Right, if you look at these two forces, will they act in the same direction? Means no, they don't act in the same direction. Right, if you look at the direction vectors of these forces, we'll just write like this. F12, in which direction it is going to act? That is force on Q1 due to Q2, means it is starting from second charge and ending at the first charge. So we'll write like this, R21. Okay, it is starting from here and ending at this point. Okay, force on Q1 due to Q2 means its direction is written as R21. In the same way, if you write F21, so what is this F21? Force on Q2 due to Q1. That means we will write it as R12. So what are these R21 and R12? These are nothing but the unit vectors which are showing the direction of the two forces. Right. So based on this, we'll just write the Coulomb's law once again. Right. Right. If you write F21, F21 means force on Q2 due to Q1 if you write the expression. So the expression will be K into the constant whatever we have discussed previously into Q1 Q2 by R square into, we'll write it as, we'll write the unit vector also, which is telling the direction. So what is that unit vector? R12, right? Next, coming to one more force, the force which is exerted on Q1 due to Q2. So F12, we can write it as K into the constant into, this expression will be same, Q1 Q2 by R square. So here what will be the change when you compare with the above equation means the direction vector. So here the force direction is F21. Okay, right, these are the two forces which are acting on the two charges. Okay, so this is these two expressions are nothing but the expressions for the Coulomb's law in vector form. Coulomb's law in vector form. Right. So what is the importance of this? The importance is it is telling about the direction. Right. If I say F21, so what is F21? Force on second charge due to the first charge. Now what is its direction? Its direction is like this. Right? Its direction is like this. And if you look at F12, F12 is nothing but force on the first charge due to the second charge, and its direction is like this. So if you compare these two expressions with the previous one, F is equal to K into Q1 Q2 by R square. Now in that previous expression we are not given any direction value. So we are not getting any information regarding the direction. Whereas if you look here, we are getting the information regarding the direction. Right. And if you look at one more thing, that is, if you look at the directions of these two forces, they are equal in magnitude and they are opposite in direction. As you can see from here, this is moving like this. This force is directed like this. Right. So that's why we are writing with minus sign. Okay. And moreover, whatever these two forces we are considering, these two forces are acting along the line joining the two charges. Right. So this is Coulomb's law, and this is nothing but electrostatic force. Electrostatic force is existing between these two charges. So from this what we can say is the electrostatic force is a central force. So what is a central force? Central force is the force which is going to act along the line joining the two bodies. Right. So this is regarding the Coulomb's law in vector form. Thank you, students. In the next video we will discuss about the electric permittivity, relative permittivity, and other videos also. Thank you.